Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of BS Drunk Movie Reviews. This is a weekly podcast. That's right, we're going weekly, you guys. You guys have demanded us so much that we have had to go weekly. So we're going to be doing this every week on Mondays. So yay for you. More work for us. Yay. But more drinking for us. So I guess that's a yay for us.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
woohoo!
And we do upload the video version of this episode on our YouTube channel, so you can check that out. My name is Matt, and as always, I am joined by my sister, Vetta, on the... Go ahead, Vetta.
Hi.
All right. So on this episode, we are going to be talking about not one, but two movies. That's right, you guys. We are going to be doing two movies this time. We're going to try to stay a little bit more current because doing a bi-weekly podcast, our movies were, if a movie is week old, it's old in the movie industry. So this week, we're going to be doing the Fear Street part 1 and part 2 because we missed out on part 1 because we were off that week. But don't worry, we will be having part 3 that Monday after it comes out, which is next week. Yeah. Anyways, so Betta, real quick. So this one, this movie, they're yeah, I don't want to say that. Okay. They are rolling out this movie in a film trilogy, and they're doing it within 3 weeks. And I don't know, how do you feel about that, them putting a movie out for a trilogy each week?
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we weren't reviewing them, I would wait till all 3 of them were out so I could binge them because I'm an impatient individual.
I feel you.
So what are you drinking since I saw you?
Oh, that's it. Yeah, sorry. I am drinking sangria. I changed it up a little bit. It's a little.
Do you have the fruit to eat later? Drunken fruit's really
no,
good.
because it's in the bottle. I didn't have time to make it. I was just like, oh, look at this. Like, let's just throw this in the freezer. It'll be cool by the time it's time. But I've been drinking since like 4. I went to a child's birthday party, so I was just knocking back.
Explains why you were drinking.
Oh yeah, I was knocking back Chardonnay, trying to remember what fun feels like. So, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Cosmo because it was a very popular drink in the 90s. So I was going, ooh, that gives me a reason to make a Cosmo.
Right. So, yes. And that's the first part of this movie that we're going to talk about is the 90s. So I think this is an excellent rollout as far as the movies go, doing a trilogy in 3 weeks. I think it's a very smart idea on Netflix's part. These are based off of books by R.L.Stine. I never read those books.
I read them all as a middle schooler.
Oh, you did?
Yes. I never read the Goosebumps. Those were...
I did read the Goosebumps.
I did not. Oh. But remember, we traveled so much to grandma's and grandpa's for hours and hours. I just bought books upon books, and I actually had them all until I was in college, and then I sold them all to a used bookstore because I needed money because I was a poor college student.
Oh, speaking of used bookstores, they had what was the name of the bookstore in this? I can't remember what the name of the bookstore was at the very beginning.
It began with a D.
Dillard? Yeah, it was like I don't know. You'd remember better than I was. You were like a teenager in the 90s. I was like in 93. I was like 11. So, or 93.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it.
Oh, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter. I just want to say right now, if you guys hear loud booms, it's fireworks because my neighbors are dicks. Okay, so Vetta, first off, let's just talk about, what did you think about this movie overall? Like, what were your first thoughts about it?
I liked it. I mean, it wasn't one of those that was like riveting for a horror film. Like, I wasn't like not able to guess because I'm not a fun person to watch movies with because I can figure it out pretty fast. So people get mad, but I liked it. Gotcha. It was fun.
I don't think
it had some excellent gore as far as when people were killed. I mean, it was fun.
I would agree with that. I have that in my notes. I'll mention it later.
Yeah.
Right on.
There were some really impressive kills.
Yeah. Right on.
I was like, that was really inventive. I'm super impressed with that one.
Absolutely. Which I will mention it too when I get it. But Kate, her kill was my favorite one.
That is my favorite kill of the movie.
Because
sure.
Yeah, I honestly thought she was gonna pull through and get out of it, but no.
No,
They played
I
a trick
didn't
on
think she
us.
was gonna pull out of it, but I didn't think he was gonna, kill her that way. But I
Oh,
am
I didn't think.
super
Oh, I didn't think she
impressed
was
with
gonna
that.
die. Because I was like, oh, Kate's badass. She's not gonna die. And then I was like, oh, who's got cake on their face? Kate does. Egg on your face much, Matt? Do you have any other like thoughts about it before I ask you what you liked and didn't like about it?
um, no, I mean, I'd watch it again, but mostly so I could nitpick at it. But that's who I am.
Gotcha. Well, I have
Watch
to.
it with other people too. It's good.
Oh, right on. Well, I have to tell you, I did not like this film. I didn't care for this film at all. The
Really?
opening, yeah, the opening scene in the mall was awesome. That was the only
Oh,
scene that
I loved that because
yeah, it
I
was so
worked
good.
in a mall
Right
in
on.
in the 90s. I
Yeah,
worked at Mrs. Fields Cookies right next to
nice.
the coffee company,
Yeah, I
you
just felt
know?
like it was very like a very, very I wrote in my notes something here. I just can't read it. It was just very like paint by the numbers generic crap.
Well,
I
it had
mean,
that same feel as most young adult books made in
I
the
see.
movies.
Maybe, but maybe that's why I didn't like it because like they did all of the horror movie tropes.
Yes.
And a lot of movies they do them, but they're not bad. And I didn't think that this one was I didn't think they did those tropes very well. I didn't think it was interesting. The whole time watching it, I was kind of annoyed with certain things. Like I was just like,
They left a lot of unanswered
yeah,
questions.
well, it was
I
very
think that
boring. I
causes
mean,
frustration.
well, like besides the first 3, 4, 5 minutes with the mall, we didn't get our next death scene until like 47 minutes in, which really annoyed me. I was all like, yo,
And they didn't give you a ton of story in there either. It
yeah,
was very blasé. But I
yeah.
go for the demographic they were probably trying to hit. I don't think they were trying to hit the kids that were reading these books in the late 80s, early 90s. I don't think they were trying to get us. I think they were trying to get current teenagers.
Gotcha. Well, it just made me realize that Netflix will just put out any type of trash. So I like and I like horror and everything, but all this stuff has just been done. I mean, like I said, it's a pile of generic copycat shit. And I would not recommend this film at all. And I probably won't ever watch it again. I mean, like I said, the first 5 minutes is awful. I mean, awesome. But then it took so long to get to the action and story wise. I mean, it wasn't scary at all. I was not
No,
scared
no,
whatsoever.
I didn't view it as a horror film at all.
And plus, I did not care about these characters. I mean, like we spent so much time, and I'll get into them when I talk about things I didn't like. But we spent so much time, and I didn't care when any of them died. I didn't care about any of it because I was just like, I just don't care. They're so one dimensional. Like there's nothing there to get me attached to these characters, like whatsoever. Like I was like, I just do not care.
Yeah, see, and I looked at it more as a movie on would younger ages like it?
Gotcha. Well, no, why don't you start off by telling me what you liked about this movie? Let's do the
Um,
positive first. Let's do the positive since I
Positive,
just shit on it.
definitely, like I said, definitely the mall scene. The mall scene was great, mostly because I worked in a mall. And even though, you know, you didn't get to see a ton, she was clearly in a Spencer's. Everybody probably, I mean, there's probably some still out there. I don't know. You
There
know,
is.
the food court where all the bodies were found.
Right on.
That was nice that he dragged them all back to the food court. So they were all there together. So when she ran through there, she had that whole Turner, that montage of every direction she looked, there was a dead, mutilated body.
Right
I
on.
loved that. I love that.
Yeah. Right on. What else did you like?
Um,
Oh, this is dead air. I'll tell you what I liked. How
yeah,
about that? Because
I
you
did think
you
a
have a
couple,
sip. How about that? You have a sip,
yes,
and I'll tell you what
yes,
I like. First
go for
off,
it.
I love the '90s because that's when I mean, like, that wasn't. I feel like whatever your teenage years were, that's really the time that you like are discovering yourself. So that's when you really like focus in. But I loved all the 90s references that they had on there.
Did you not think that a lot of kids might have to ask their parents if they're watching this, or if they Google it, or if they're watching it with their parents, their moms and dads, like, oh my God, I had that shirt.
Oh yeah. One thing that I wrote down in here as far as 90s references goes was I was like, AOL chat rooms. I was on those all the time.
All the time.
Like, when they said they were getting rid of AOL Messenger, I was like, what? I still have mine. I'm like, don't do it.
When she pulled out the Walkman, where you like, and the mixtape,
the mixtape. Yeah, exactly. Like we have cassette tapes in my house, and I'll pull one out and be like, what is this? This is interesting. But and that Walkman was rad. I would totally buy an iPod or such that looked like that Walkman. Like
when she used the phone on the wall and it had a cord.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Like her headphones were super rad. I was like, oh my God, these are great. Why did we get rid of this shit? It's so cool looking.
Or when Kate whipped out the phone book, I was like, do kids even know how to use a phone book?
Kids these days would
if you handed them the white pages and said, find your best friend's phone number, I don't think they could fucking do it.
I have no faith in this generation as far as stuff like that goes. They would not survive in the world. Like if you said like the same thing with like getting directions, like they'd have to use a map, and I'm all like, I don't think they would know what northeast southwest is, kind of thing.
No way.
So
do you remember the good old days when you would road trip and have to pull out a map? And
I'm the best navigator. If you want, I'm the best, because you want somebody navigating, I'm your guy and everything. So another thing that I really liked a lot, hold on, I'm just gonna have a little sippy sip because this is delicious. I didn't realize how good it was. So I love the soundtrack of this first movie.
Yes.
It was so 90s. They played I'm only happy when it rains, and I was all like, oh my God, I had this CD. And I know for any of you youngsters listening, a CD is like this circular like silver platelet kind of thing that you put in a CD player, and it played music and everything.
And sometimes your car, like where your parents put that DVD in so you can watch a movie in a car.
Yeah.
It was a CD player at one point.
Yeah. So, but I remember that. I can't remember. I think was Freak one of them.
Yep.
I don't remember all of them, but I just remember when they started playing the music, I was like, oh, I love this song. I love this song. It was definitely like, I remember that stuff. Now as far as characters goes, I wrote down, I like Josh, Dina's brother.
Josh.
Yeah,
yes.
I liked his, like, I loved how he was on the AOL chat room. I love that. I can't wait to see who the little girl, who it was he was chatting with. That's all like, just see the news. It was a psycho or whatever.
I know.
If they do show who that is. And I liked, but I did like Josh. I like that he was like the keeper of the information.
Yes.
There's another trope and everything. And I liked, and then the next one I wrote down was Kate. Kate was my favorite.
Yes.
I loved her. She was a boss bitch.
For sure.
And she had the best death out of all of them. I did like her death. Her death was very like, because I honestly thought she would survive because she was such a boss bitch. And I was like, oh, they killed like the best character and left like the dumbest character alive. So then
you didn't like Dina.
No, fuck Dina. We're gonna get into Dina. I fucking hate her. Anyways. And then I said I liked Fred. I thought Fred was really funny. So much so that I laughed so hardcore when he got axed in the forehead because he was just standing there with that fucking blue cardigan, that oversized blue cardigan. And then just like and I knew one of them was going to die. And I was like, oh, they're going to kill the white kid. And then just thunk, there was just a big old axe in his head. And I was like, ha 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 ha, and everything. I just started laughing out loud because it was so funny. I don't remember, but I wrote it down in my notes because I was like, when the one skull mask guy, killer slasher guy showed up at the house. No. The one, the slasher, was his name Ryan?
The one that killed in the mall. Yeah.
Stop naming him by name. Why are you naming them by name? He's the slasher.
Sorry that I took
what
was notes.
What was the one chick with the switchblade? The Winona Ryder
Ruby Lane.
Bitch. Oh, Jesus Christ. You memorized this shit? Okay.
Notes.
Okay. Well, you took hardcore notes because I
Good
just
student, damn it.
my shit's on Post-its. So anyways,
I got a whole notebook.
wow. Okay. Anyways, so and then I wrote on
I
there.
knew I was going to be drinking. I wanted to make sure I remembered.
Right on. I'm surprised you can read your notes. I'm all like, what did I write down? What is that? Anyways, so and then I wrote down the panty sniffer scene. The moment when he saw, did he say it was he was a panty sniffer? The little
they called him
slasher?
at first before they
And I
figured
was all
out
like,
that he was attracted to her blood.
yeah, I thought I laughed out loud when he said that because I was like, that's so funny. And then the last thing I wrote down for the things that I liked was the kills because I thought they were gory and I loved it and everything, even though there wasn't that many in this.
I feel like they should have done better killing Peter in the hospital.
Right on. Yeah.
I feel like that was lackluster.
Yeah, I have some questions about that, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
What are some things that you didn't like?
I didn't like the amount of questions that I had that didn't get answered. Didn't
save those. I want to talk about questions after because I have questions too about this stupid movie.
Okay, well, you see Sam's name on the wall at the end with all the others, but she's not a killer. So why is the witch coming after her? That's my biggest question.
I said in there. I was like, how is it that Dina, okay, so Dina's nose started bleeding on the bus, right? When she was about to throw that ice bucket, okay?
Yes.
And then they get into that car accident. Sam gets out of the car. Her nose starts bleeding. She touches it, then she touches the grave, awakening this witch bitch.
Right.
And then at the end, I'm all like, Sam gets possessed, but I'm all like, how is it Sam gets possessed, but not Dina? Because Dina's nose bled. And I'm all like,
I think that, because there's the whole thing that Sam was originally in the car with Sunnyvale boys, and she now lives in Sunnyvale, where Dina is still a Shady Side kid.
Well, wouldn't she? But I thought they only possessed Shady Side people.
But technically Sam that's where she was born. So she just moved across the line. That's why I think it was one of those.
Gotcha. Well,
I think they're trying to do that whole because they're in love. And I'm like, they're teenagers. They're not in love. Shut up.
Yeah, which I want to talk about that in a minute when I tell you the things I didn't like, because that's number one on my fucking list.
Yeah.
Dina and her fucking bullshit. What are some other things you didn't like?
Well, I definitely am right there with you. I wasn't a fan of Dina's. I did not like Sarah. They should not have pulled her back. They should have just let the guy axe her and been done with it.
Which one was Sarah?
Huh? Oh.
Which one was Sarah?
Are you sure?
No, which one was Sarah? Who's Sarah?
I said Sam.
You said Sarah.
I swear I meant Sam.
Well, maybe you need to cut yourself off because you said Sarah.
Well, I wrote down Sam.
Yeah, they kept Sam. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
Left her.
It's a good thing I wasn't in this movie, because I would have been like, when she went out into the hallway, I'd have been like, bye, bitch.
I'd have been like, see that window? I'm going out of it and
that's
getting as far away from these fuckers, because we blew them up and they came back.
Yeah. And when they're in the store and they're all covered in her blood, I would have been like, can't you just put a little dot on my shirt? And then when I feel like I'm about to die,
my question with that is why didn't they just walk around and put her blood on inanimate objects? Because he went after the t-shirt. So if they just walked up and down the aisles or even mopped blood on the floor like they did in the school, wouldn't that confuse the fuck out of them?
Yeah, I mean,
they are teenagers, though. We have to remember they're not super crazy smart, even though for some reason teenagers always seem to save the world.
Well, they were able to figure out that if she's got her blood on them, they were able to figure that shit out.
Well, they figured that out from the panty sniffing in the shoe.
I mean, remember? I guess so, but like, I wouldn't have figured that out. I've been like, these fuckers are crazy. I would have just been like, oh, we're all gonna die. I was like, but you bitches first, because I'm getting out of here. Which, yeah, that's another thing that I had a question on it that doesn't make sense is, we'll talk about what else, something else that you didn't like.
I didn't like the sheriff, Nick Good, because he knows what's going on. And you know that when he sends the note under Seaburm's door saying it's happening again, he clearly knows what's going on, but then he lies to the kids and he ignores what happens. And he says, well, this is what we're going to say. And he throws freaking Kate and them under the bus at the end. And it's just one of those where you're like, what the fuck? You suck, my dude.
Right on. Do you have anything else?
Well, I mean, I can go through a lot.
All right. So listen, I just want to.
They don't give enough information about the witch. And I know it's a trilogy, and I know that more information will come along, and they're stringing us along like, you know, we're a teenage girl.
I don't even care. Like, I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, this is stupid. All right. I want to complain about Dina. I don't like Dina. Dina's a stupid asshole. So what really bothered me about Dina is she's sitting in her room all like, woe was me. My girlfriend and I broke up. But then you find out she broke up with Sam. I'm all like,
all because she moved.
Yeah. And I'm like, bitch, you can walk or get your dad to drive you
20 minutes away.
Yeah. I'm all like, this is some dumb shit right here.
And if she lives on the rich side of town now, didn't her mommy and daddy give her a car or something?
Yeah.
She can come see you.
Oh, it annoyed the fuck out of me. I was like, this is stupid. I was all like, you can't break up with somebody and then be mad at them when you see them again. I'm all like, Sam is in the right. And Dina, you're an asshole.
She seemed to be very judgy and very mad that she was now dating Peter. And I'm like, what? She can't be bi. She just can only be lesbian or straight. That's not how things work, my dude.
Right. And then like, I don't know. It was stupid. And I'm all like, yo, I'm letting your girlfriend die. And if you want to be with her, have at it. I would have let.
That's what I'm saying. They should have just shoved her out there with her and be like, you want to save her? Here you go. Go for it. Give it a go.
Like, I'm all like, y'all sorry, I dropped something. I'm like, y'all are stupid. Like, cause I'd just be like, Sam, I don't know you. I don't like you. And Dina, apparently she's mad at you, but not anymore. Cause you're getting hunted out by a witch and everything. And then I said, there was not enough deaths, which really bothered me. I was like, there was only like what, like maybe like, and when I say,
3,
deaths, I mean like
4, 5,
ones
6.
that you've seen.
Ones you saw. So
yeah, because like the mall, when she's passing those dead bodies sitting in the chairs, I'm like, well, that doesn't count. I mean, like it counts, but not like, I want to see this shit. I don't want to see people die off screen. That's not what I want in my horror movies.
So you get like 4 kills?
Yeah, 4, maybe 5. I don't remember. Yeah. So another thing I saw was all the horror tropes, like the 300-year-old witch curse. I'm all like, okay, I'm had enough of this shit. I'm not into it. I don't care. I was like, I don't care why she cursed these people. It's probably something lame and nothing intricate. It's probably like they killed me when I was alive. And I'm like, oh, good. Or be
no, I'm sure it's going to be something way more ridiculous like that. Like they killed her because she was into a boy that was above her class or some shit like that. It's going to be some unrequited love type situation because
right on. Then I wrote down not enough sex in this movie for a horror movie. I mean, like,
we haven't even gotten to part 2 yet. And I figured that's out of camp. We're going to get into some serious, you said hidden horror film checklist. We're going to a camp.
Oh yeah. But I have some thoughts on that one when we get to it, but there wasn't enough sex scenes, and the sex scenes it was like, so like I know that
PG-13.
Yeah. It was PG-13. I was like, there was no titty. There was no titty. There was just kissing. And I'm all like, and with some dude jerking off in front of a mirror. But even that, you just saw him put his hands in his underwear. And I'm all
while he was doing some weird little dance.
Yeah, I was just like, this is so weird. And then something else I wrote down that I didn't like was that Kate died. So lame.
I was not happy about that either. I mean, it was the best kill. I mean, kudos on the creativity there. That was very nice. I did like that a lot.
Right on. And so, and the last thing I wrote down that I really didn't like was, okay, so the slashers, right? All the slashers that come to life. Now, hold on, I'm just refilling.
That's okay.
And everything.
I decided just to drink out of my shaker instead of pouring it into the glass. So
I feel you. So we got to see the 3 main ones, which was Ghostface, Skull Guy. I don't remember.
Ryan.
Ruby Rose.
Nope. Ruby Lane.
And then Hatchet Man. Okay. But
Tommy Slater.
But then the ones that I thought out of all and then they showed some of the other ones. They showed a boy with a bat, some milkman, and a preacher man with his eyes gouged out or whatnot. And I was like, those people are way more interesting than these slashers that we got here. Like, I want to see all like we've got this Skull dude and he's like the main one for this year, but I want to see those other people and their stories more than I want to see this bullshit.
And
I don't care.
why specifically do Ruby Lane and Tommy Slater, I think that's his name, come back?
Yeah, good question. Another question is, why are you memorizing these assholes' names?
I wrote them down.
All right, whatever. They're your BFFs. I get it, weirdo. Anyway,
Suck a dick. Suck a dick.
With relish. Anyways,
really, of all the condiments, that's what you pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
good
sweet
for you
and everything. It's sweet and pickledy. Anyways, so that's all the stuff that I had written down that I didn't like. Besides this whole movie, like I didn't like this whole movie.
I didn't like the bus scene where the car crash happens. I'm like,
right on.
It was stupid. Whatever.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. So some questions that I had was,
okay.
All right. So how come when the slashers are killing everybody, right, or they're going after Sam, okay, they're going after Sam, and they go after her blood that's on the shirt and the shoe. Why did they kill the nurse and the secretary nurse at the hospital and the boyfriend?
That was my question.
They didn't have blood on them. And and I'm all like, I'm like, why are they? Because then I was like,
well, and the killers don't usually kill people who aren't Shadyville or Shady.
Shitville.
Yeah, that's not what it's called. But
Shady side.
Sunnyvale and Shady side. But normally the killers only kill people that are Shady side. This time they didn't. They killed some Sunnyvale.
Yeah, and
because the boyfriend Sunnyvale, and I think the front desk nurse is Sunnyvale. I could be wrong.
Yeah, and like the whole time I'm just like, well, why did, like, if they killed the nurse, why'd they kill the nurse? Because you got this Skull guy who's all good at because I was like, well, maybe they killed the drug dealer nurse because he tried to stop him. Like he was like, excuse me,
he
sir.
was in the way, which I think is they considered Peter in the way as well, even though he really wasn't.
Though?
No,
because I'm like he was
just on the other side of the curtain.
A curtain, yeah. And I'm all like, you can smell this bitch's panties, but you can't smell that's not her blood on this dude standing.
And is he really in that way? You couldn't have bitch slapped him. He would have fallen over.
And then the secretary nurse, I was all like, what happened? You walked in and she's like, excuse me, sir. And you're like, oh, time to cut your throat. It's like,
excuse me, sir, visiting hours are over.
Yeah,
you'll have to come back to kill somebody tomorrow.
Yeah. So then my last question for you is, do you have any theories about what the curse is all about? I know you said you read the books, but do you have any theories?
Do you want my
Don't
theories?
Don't give anything away from the books because I don't know if these people are going to get mad if you do.
Okay. Well, if they do, I mean, I'm sorry.
You're drunk. That's your excuse.
Yeah, that's always my. Okay, I'll try to be my best to not pull in book information. So my thing is, I think they always talk about the curse that she cursed everybody. So I think that she didn't really curse anyone. She's just trying to find a way to get revenge for her kill and to still live forever. You know what I mean? I don't think it's necessarily a curse, because a curse would be the firstborn son of every family is, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I don't know where they're going with this, because I know I read the books, so I know where that all goes. So, or at least I think I remember. I'm not 100%.
My only theory is that she got killed, so she's like, I'm gonna live forever and make everybody pay. And I'm all like, oh, okay.
It's totally a revenge, you killed me.
But so stupid. I have no faith that it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I go if it followed the books, because this is based on 3 books from the Fear Street series. If it follows those, this is a pretty good curse. But
right on. All right, so we just finished Fear Street Part 1. Why don't we hop over to Fear Street Part 2?
All right. Are you gonna get mad about my notes again? Because I did take
No,
good
I'm not gonna get
notes,
mad about
but
your notes. It's just interesting.
giving me a
that
hard time about my notes.
You wrote down names and shit. I just wrote down Skullface Killer, and you're all like Ryan McGuire, and I'm all like, what? That was his name? Oh, you paid attention to that? I was too busy getting all annoyed. Okay.
All right.
So your first thoughts on this one?
It was way better than the first one.
Okay.
It still didn't have enough blood and gore. Like this time he's killing camp kids, but you don't actually get to see the kids killed. You only get to see the aftermath.
Yeah, I was super annoyed about that.
Yeah.
Like when he killed that whole cabin full of Shadyville kids.
The
lights went
out because they were in jail for color wars.
Yeah.
I think.
Which I just want to say, the little fat kid that was all like, shut your mouth, Shadyville, or whatever. And then he like threw shit at him and everything. And then he's like, I'm going to go check out what that was. I'm like, well, how come he didn't get killed? He was a little asshole.
Sunnyvale.
Yeah, fuck that.
No one from Sunnyvale died in this camp even though it was both kids from both. No Sunnyvale kids died, which brings me back to the first one where I said, why did Sunnyvale people die? Because Sunnyvale people usually, I don't think they said any of them died. I thought Josh said it was always
maybe it's because the witch, what's her name?
Sarah Fear.
Maybe she was from Sunnyvale.
Sunnyvale came after her.
Well, maybe she was from the part that was Sunnyvale. And the shady side boys killed her.
Where the camp was located is where the mall.
I thought, okay.
The mall is on the land where the hanging tree is. No, the hanging tree.
Yeah. Listen, that's what I'm saying now. Okay. I think that the bitch is killing, she was from Sunnyvale or whatever side of the settlement was Sunnyvale. And the boys were from Shadyville side or whatever it's called. That's my theory. I don't care what you think. Anyways,
okay.
Go ahead. What else did you not like? Don't give me that look. Or what else did you think?
I did not like that they tried to be other campground slasher movies. Like, be yourself.
Yeah.
Don't try to recreate with a, different vibe other camp slasher movies. It doesn't work, especially when those other ones are iconic. It doesn't work. There was a lot I didn't like about this. Like, I liked it. I thought it was better than the first one, but I kind of there's bullies in this one that I'm like, that Ziggy, Christine, Ziggy, she should have just bitch slapped that Sheila chick because her little minions weren't going to do shit. She should have just beat the shit out of her and moved on.
That's what I would have done.
I'm like,
yeah, I did not. I hated this movie way more than the first one. I so
really.
Oh my god, I so hated this movie.
I figured because you got the sex scenes in it.
Oh, you got like one sex scene.
You still didn't get to see any boobies though.
Yeah, which was, and you saw like man ass, which don't get me wrong, that's all good for you and everything. But I was just like, because
that's all they can show to keep the rating down.
But what ratings? It's Netflix. it's ridiculous. I'm like, this is not a horror movie. Whatever, get out of here.
They're definitely not horror films, for sure. I agree.
And then it took like 40 minutes to get to the first kill. And those 40 minutes, I was so agonized. I was like, oh my God, when are we going to get to anything good in this freaking movie? I'm like, the only thing that was kind of good was you had that possessed nurse attack that dude. And I'm all like,
she wasn't possessed. She knew he was going to be the next one because she found his name on the wall.
Well, yeah, big whoop. Anyways, so then like it had so many cliches. It wasn't even bad good. It was just bad. It was a bad horror movie. It sucked. I like hated it so much.
See, you keep thinking of it as a horror film. After the first one, I didn't think of any of them as a horror.
You can't call it Fear Street and have
That's literally the name of the street in Shadyville that the Fear family.
It doesn't matter, hooker. Okay, you can't do this as a horror trilogy and then have fucking Romeo and Juliet for the first 40 minutes of your movie. It's so freaking obnoxious. Yeah.
See, I think they were playing off of something in one of the books, but that's just with the whole Ziggy and Nick thing, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, well,
they didn't do a very good job of it.
It was so annoying. So, what were some things that you liked, Vetta? Go and tell me.
I like that they gave us a little more information. I loved when they found the witch's little cave. That was fun. I mean, it brought up a lot more questions that I didn't get answers to.
We are like the opposite person right now. Okay, go ahead.
I liked that everybody just like thought the nurse was possessed and that, you know, she was crazy and all of that, and no one wanted to listen. And I love that after she attacks Tommy, that's all of a sudden when he starts hearing the stuff and the things and the whatnot from the witch. Like, why did it take nurse? Like, when was it going to happen then? When was
that's what I wrote down.
If Nurse Lane wouldn't have tried to kill him, when did the witch plan on taking him over?
Yeah, I wrote down, would he have changed if Nurse Ratchet wouldn't have attacked him?
Yeah.
I was all like, would he hey,
Ratchet
listen,
was way better.
Tomato, okay?
She was Ruby Lane's mom.
You say tomato, I say tomato, you say stupid, I say Vetta. Anyway, so
that's an asshole.
So
you're lucky it's genetic.
So what else did you like about this?
Again, I loved the whole I liked the filming aspect of it again because I loved the clothes. They definitely got the whole 70s thing correct with the, you know, the clothes, the way people talked, the decor, and they got the whole camp vibe to it. I know our mom never allowed us to go to camp.
I went to camp.
What camp did you go to?
I mean, if you want me to name it, I don't remember the exact name.
You went to overnight sleepaway camp.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
I swear to the Jesus.
You should totally. So your older brother and I were not allowed to go because our mother said mine have all gone to camp and they were just fine.
Yeah, I just.
It's nothing against camps.
Okay. So, one thing I wrote
the next time I talk to her, that's gonna be a thorn that sits there with
me. You just all of a sudden you're just like, yeah, how are you and the kids doing? Oh, wait, no. First, we need to chat about you didn't send me to camp.
You let Matt go to overnight.
You let the twins go to camp, and I didn't.
When was this?
One thing that I did like was Sandy Sink, the actress that played Ziggy. Yeah, I really like her a lot. I didn't like Ziggy, the character. She's on my dislikes, but I really liked her a lot. I think she's a good actress. I can't wait to see some more stuff that she does. I really liked her a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
That's all I have on the like section. I have a lot.
Yeah, I didn't have much to like at all.
I thought you said you liked this one more than the other one.
No, I meant as far as the characters go.
Ugh. Oh, you're so.
I'm all over the board.
Listen. Oh, I hated this movie so much. Tell me some of your dislikes. Go.
Okay, so they confused me even more. So I disliked how there were similarities between Ziggy and Sam from the first movie. They both bled on the bones, yet Sam was on the wall, but Ziggy wasn't. Why wasn't Ziggy on the wall?
I have that.
Oh, you know what else I totally forgot? Okay, we're going to go back to the first one real quick. The EpiPen scene, that pissed me off because that's giving false information. You do not stick an EpiPen in someone's chest. They go in their thigh.
Right on.
Okay, I'm sorry. It
And
just
don't just randomly stick people with EpiPens.
No, don't do that. Because it can lead to death. And do not stick someone in the hand or feet because they could lose their limb. It will stop the blood flow.
Yeah.
I have an EpiPen. I know.
Yeah, cool. I don't have one. So I'm
and you can't use EpiPens for an OD, just so everyone knows that. You need there's a specific one.
Yeah, shit you don't have, people. So don't do it.
Yeah,
how about this? How about you don't overdose? How about
that?
Let's try that.
Don't OD.
Let's try that out.
Yeah.
Just say no. Anyway.
Yes, right.
So I had that written down as one of my questions for you. How come Ziggy
bleeds on the bones?
Yeah, she bleeds on the bones and doesn't get possessed later on after she dies.
And her name does not end up on the wall.
Yeah, but then Sam
does.
Yeah, I wrote that down in my notes. I have that question too, because I was like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. And I wrote down in the first one, there was somebody when Sam's name appeared on the wall, and granted it was later on, but her name appears on the wall. There's somebody on that floor in that cave doing all like hama.
That's the witch.
Yeah, is it the witch in spirit, or is it somebody?
So this is my whole thing. I don't know. I'm hoping that it's someone new who's doing it and just using, or Sarah Fear's using her or something. Because my other thing is that person has two hands. Sarah Fear cut her hand off, so she would not be sitting there with both hands doing all of her stuff because she's missing one.
Which is cutting off your hand. Is that worth immortality as a weird ghost thingy, a revengeful ghost?
Well, not in 19.
I'd keep my right hand if you know what I'm saying.
1666, because they didn't have prosthetics. Nowadays, they have really nice prosthetics. It might be okay.
No. I just want to say your joke wasn't as funny as mine.
What joke?
Yeah, exactly. You missed it. It.
I
don't remember. You were talking about prosthetics, and I was just like, I'm just saying, I choose the right hand if you know what I'm saying. You know why.
You're right. I didn't hear that at all.
So
that really angered. Like that one was very confuzzling to me. I was just unsure on what was going on. If Sam and Ziggy aligned so much in the things they did, why wasn't Ziggy possessed? And why wasn't Ziggy's name on the wall? Why is Sam's? And then I have issues with outhouses, so I really didn't like anything that dealt with being in a porta potty.
Dude, oh gosh. I just wrote, I would not climb up that shit slope. Shit slope. I was all like, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
I'm not
I would have been like, rescuers, I'd been like, hey, if you go to the woods, there's a hole in the ground and there's some rocks. You can move the rocks and I can walk right out that way. Let's do that. Yeah.
I was
no way.
And the one girl that had the broken ankle, I would have been like, oh, you're gonna get the MRSA in your ankle, because I was like, because there's all that shit moss just sitting right there. Right? I was like,
just no way.
So what is some other stuff that you didn't like, or some stuff that you didn't
I hated the Kurt character. Wasn't that his name? The douchebag from Sunnyvale, the head counselor.
Oh, that had sex with the hippie chick?
Yeah, those are like, you better not tell anyone or I'll kill you. She's like, okay.
Yeah, which I just go, why would you care?
He can't have sex with someone from Shady.
You can't.
Apparently you can't.
Okay,
he feels that's a weird big rule. About town pride.
I guess so. I don't know. That's a weird rule. I wrote down that there's not enough sex in this one either. I'm like, this was the perfect time.
And you didn't want to see any more man ass. I mean, in both sex scenes, you got to see the dude's ass, but you didn't get to see not even side boobs.
Yeah, not even tasteful side boob.
The first one, she had a shirt on, and the second one, her hair was long enough that from every angle, either her shirt or her hair covered it.
Yeah, which I was like, what is this, lagoon? I was like, I don't see why we can't see, even tasteful side boob, or just a big fat nip and everything. I was just like, what is going on here? This is ridiculous. And and I'm all like, if this is trying to be a horror movie, you need to harken back to those 70s movies where you'd see straight on bush.
Like I said, the Friday the 13th, the original camp slasher movies. There was another one, Sleepaway Camp. All of those.
I love
You got to
Sleepaway
see
Camp.
full on. I think in some of those you got to see full on bush too, like that.
Yeah, that's what I just said. You got to see full on bush. Yeah.
Yeah, you got.
So, what are some other things that you didn't like?
Again, I think it was too long. They dragged it out. They couldn't that's my whole thing too. Long. With these trilogies, I feel like they're trying to make 1.5-hour movies. They could have made them all 45 minutes, made them way more fast paced, made a little bit more interesting because they kept moving along. If they're going to do them for 1.5 hours, they need to give us more information and not just repetitive over and over the same bullshit.
Yeah, I agree. It went on way too long. I was like, they could have cut out 20 minutes and I'd have been like, yeah, it's done and everything, especially since they didn't do very many kills, in my opinion.
I liked when they poured the bugs on the Sheila girl. I would have preferred the Carrie blood that the girl was originally going to do. And then she listened to the Nick guy and he was like, oh, I've got it better. Let's go to the science and nature cabin. And I was like,
yeah, that's one thing I wrote down that I didn't like was the cliches. And one of them was when she's like, I hate snakes. And I was like, oh, that's going to come up later. I'll bet you $5. And of course, nobody was around, but I was like, see, I was right. You owe me $5. You owe me $5 and everything. Because then the snake,
I was definitely like, this is bananas. They should have went with the Carrie blood. Like she went into the bathroom and the bucket poured on her head, way better than the bugs. So I was quite disappointed that she was a young woman and she let some boy, just because he flirted with her, change her mind when her idea was spot on from the get-go.
Right on. Was there anything else you didn't like or did like? Well, one thing I didn't like was I didn't like the whole sister relationship and the whole friend relationship between Ziggy, her sister. What's that kid? What's the sister's name? You know.
Cindy.
And what's the friend's name with the punk friend? Alice. Okay.
The druggie Alice.
Yeah, Alice annoyed me because she was all like, and I'm paraphrasing, she's like, we used to be such good friends and hang out all the time. And then you wanted to be a Sunnyvaler. And then
no, snitch.
Whatever.
She wanted to be a snitch. She snitched on her.
Whatever. You know what? What are you talking about? Stop talking. And then the sister was all like, oh, I want to be a Sunnyvaler, but I kind of want to.
She doesn't even want to be a Sunnyvaler. She just wants to get the fuck out of Shady Side.
Yeah. And then you got the Ziggy sister who was all like,
oh, that girl's just pissed at the world.
She's like, my sister doesn't love me. She wants to move to Sunnyvale and everything. And then the sister is all like, I should be there for my sister. And I was like, oh my God, I don't care. I hope all of you die, but I know the one girl lives because
it is one of the few movies that almost everybody you wanted to die died. I mean, I would have been really happy if Kurt,
nobody died. Nobody has died that I want to die.
Who did you want to die?
I want Dina to die, but we still have time for that. And I did want Ziggy to die. I did not like her whatsoever. The one punk rocker chick, what was her name?
Technically, Alice? Ziggy did die. Nick just
I want her to die. I want her to die for good, even an adult version.
You didn't like her being stabbed 14 times. You wanted her to.
No, I liked that. She got brought back to life. I was like, not good enough. Anyways.
Did you figure it out soon enough that Ziggy was a nickname and she was actually C. Berman?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I knew that from the first thing.
Yeah. I was like right away. I was like, the minute they said the sister was Cindy, I was like, oh, they're trying to fool us. You did not get me. You did not get me.
Yeah. No, I was not confused in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. I'm just checking, just making sure.
And then I wrote down no, I didn't. I wrote down I didn't like the ending with the time travel thing and the whole I'm in this old witch's body, but it's so stupid. Like as soon as she like touched the bones, she's all like,
you don't like that they're going to make Dina live out Sarah Fierce's life.
Yeah, that's so stupid. I hate that. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. I have zero interest in this third movie, but we're going to watch it because we have to do this thing.
I'm interested in it because I want to see if they answer questions.
See, I don't even care if they answer my questions. I literally.
Oh, so you're one of those people that when you watch a movie and you don't like it, you can turn the movie off and walk away and never think about it.
No, I have to watch the whole thing.
Oh, okay. Because even horrible movies, I can't turn it off. I have to finish.
Well, I need to, if they do, if I cared about it, I mean, this obviously I don't. Like, I probably would have turned it off and not watched it, but we're doing this. So
Are you one of those people that wishes there was like a 1.5 setting where you could make it go faster so you could watch it in half the time?
Yeah. But I mean, but only for like this kind of movie. Like I was like, sometimes I was just like, what? But you can do that on Netflix. You can fast forward.
I know.
Did you have anything else you wanted to say about what you liked or disliked? Because I have only one question that we didn't answer.
I do not understand what makes Nick like all of a sudden turn on Ziggy. Like he's all on her side. He's all like, no, I believe you. I see it all. And then all of a sudden, when the police come and all the questions are being asked, now all of a sudden, he's not. He's all, Tommy Slater just went crazy.
I thought it was because he wanted to be a sheriff one day.
Well, he wants, I think that's part of it, like to live through his father's legacy, because his father was all the sheriff and amazing.
Did you think he was good looking?
Huh?
The kid, Nick, did you think he was good looking?
No.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
No, I would have to say in all this, they haven't really
not have fucked him.
No, I don't think they've really
I would have fucked him. I would have been
attractive characters for any of these movies yet. There isn't one single movie.
What are you talking about?
In the first movie, he's not super hot.
What kid?
The boyfriend from the first movie that got killed in the hospital that we don't understand why he was killed.
I think there's a lot of attractive people in these movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, the women are, Kate was cute.
Yeah, Kate was hot. Yeah.
But she died. Her little friend was not. He was dorky.
Josh?
No, the other guy. What the hell is his name?
Fred.
Sure.
I remember him because I liked him.
Simon, isn't it?
Maybe the actor, but his name was Fred. Or is the actor's name Fred and the character's name is Simon? I just wrote down Fred because I liked Fred, and doesn't matter anyways. So I want to move over to the question part, unless you have something else you want to say. Because I have nothing.
Sure, it was Simon. I'm pretty sure it was Simon.
Gotcha. Okay.
No, I just feel like, especially for the camp counselors, they should have went for way more attractive people. If you're going to be doing, I don't know.
I thought they did good with it. I see. Okay. Well, listen, like I said, we're opposites on this one for sure. Total opposites.
Oh, for sure. But that's okay.
Okay. So here's my only other question I have.
Okay.
What do you want to see in the third movie?
Ooh.
Since that's going to be next week.
I want my questions answered, damn it. Why was Ziggy's name not on the wall? Why is the witch so insistent on living forever? Why did she curse everybody? Why is Sunnyvale perfect and Shadyside's not? I don't know.
Gotcha. I only wrote down one thing that I want to see in the third movie, and that is I want to see
boobies?
Dina die. I want to see the death of Dina. I want Dina to die. She's the
Dina
worst
and Josh
character.
are not going to die.
I hate her.
And Sam's not going to die either because that's the love story.
Well, I want Dina to die because she made me mad when she's all like upset with somebody that she broke up with. It's so fucking annoying. People like that.
I was more upset when she couldn't see that to kill one person, they would have saved everybody else's life. Yeah, she was willing to let all of her friends die to save her girlfriend.
Yeah, it was super.
Who she broke up with.
Yeah, because she moved across the tracks. Yeah, so obnoxious.
She moved to the safer place where there's no crime.
It's literally annoying.
And she had a choice. I mean, when do teenagers have a choice on where their parents move?
Exactly. All right. So now we're going to switch over, you guys, and have just a little bit of a discussion about a couple of things. We're first going to talk about R.L.Stine. Now, since you read these books, Vetta, why don't you go ahead and take it away? What do you want to talk about?
As a middle school girl, favorite author. I mean, he led into my love of Stephen King and my love of sci-fi genre. in general, because that's my thing. I don't really see this as horror. I see this as like paranormal sci-fi, because they're dealing with witches and the paranormal realm and not specifically murder. That just happens to be like a sub section thing. But my favorite Fear Street collection was the Fear Street Cheerleaders series. That was by far my favorite. It was just really good. I read all, I think there were five or six of those. Even when I stopped, and I read all of every R.L.Stine book that came out from middle school up until I think I was a sophomore in high school. I did not. But then when I would think I was like a freshman or a sophomore in college, maybe, the last cheerleader book came out, and I don't even remember how I stumbled upon it. I actually went out and paid the $4.99 and bought the book and read it. Just like, it was a nostalgic thing of, I had read them all. I needed to read the last one to complete it. So, I mean, I like R.L.Stine. I think kids today would like him, but I don't know how much kids today, middle school age, really read as much.
Right on.
But I definitely, like I said, I think I owned all of them. I don't know if you remembered my bedroom with the big desk and dresser that had the bookshelves that went around the whole room or whatever.
I do.
They were all R.L.Stine books in those bookshelves. They all cost me $3.99, $4.99. Cheap back then. Now books are like $14.99, but
yeah, like a 400
I used to babysit like so that I could buy them. I was such a nerd. I was such a book nerd that I used to spend my babysitting money on it. If I did not read all of the Fear Street books, I probably read at least 95 to 98% of them, because like I said, I stopped reading them about my sophomore year in high school because I am starting to believe I was a little bit more sheltered or naive than most kids at that age. So I started to come out of my shell and said, oh, I can't carry books everywhere and read.
Right on.
It's not cool.
Right on.
I liked the books. I definitely would say, if you're okay reading kids or young adult books, get them and read them. They'll be a fast read for you, or get your kids to read them and read them with them and talk about them. It'll be fun.
Right on. I would totally read some of the R.L.Stine books. I read all the Goosebumps books. I never read the Fear Street, whatever you're talking about, the cheerleaders thing. I just read the Goosebumps ones, and I remember the Haunted Mask was my favorite, just because, like, you know, it's probably the most memorable. And then they made a TV show that I liked a lot and stuff. So though that's my only introduction to R.L.Stine. I don't know if he led me into loving Stephen King, although I do love Stephen King. But I do.
Well, it was probably more our father that led me into Stephen King, but it was kind of like, once I was done reading R.L.Stine, that's the books I went into, and I started reading all of those. So I don't know. It's probably a weird combination of realizing that I liked those types of books and our father.
Right on. So now that we've talked a little bit, did you have anything else you wanted to say about R.L.Stine?
No.
Okay. Now that we've talked about R.L.Stine, why don't we do something a little fun? And why don't we tell each other our favorite slashers? Because this one's just full of slashers all over the place. They're just cutting people up. There are a
lot of slashers, which I really hope they answer those questions on why.
And I hope they show a little bit
all
more.
Of them. I would like to see all their stories rather than a newspaper clipping and a glimpse of them stabbing the housewife as they're the milkman.
Yeah, they just keep showing that kid beating the person on the bed.
I think it's his mom.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
and then the milkman stabbing the mom, the housewife in the backyard. What it looks like.
And I was all like, oh, I wonder what happened there.
So when it came to picking favorite slashers, like, I have categories.
Ooh, I only have one. Okay, how many you got?
I have three. So I have the most realistic, the one that is the scariest for me, and the one that is my favorite.
Okay, go ahead.
So I feel like Mrs. Voorhees is my favorite because she's the most realistic. Like, she's a mom who's pissed off that people were having sex while her kid drowned. Like, I feel like that's a legit thing. She goes on a massive
stupid
kill
hewers were
right?
getting it on where my son died.
Right.
You stupid hewers. I just like saying it like that. Hewers.
Yeah. So as far as like realistic, like that I could see happening, I would say Mrs. Voorhees. As far as like
Can I just say one thing about Mrs. Voorhees? The only thing I don't like about Mrs. Voorhees is, remember when she like in that scene where she looks up at the moon, she's like, kill them, mommy, kill them all. I'm like, oh, this bitch is crazy. I thought she was just mad. She's fucking crazy.
Oh no, she was psychotically and she had a mental break.
I think they voiced over that because I was all like, I don't think I could sound that childlike. I mean, like,
oh, I think I could.
Oh, not me, because I was all like, kill them, mommy, kill them. That sounds like a man trying to be a baby, but
mommy, kill them. Please.
Yeah, you just sound like you. You don't sound like a little kid. I can do a child's voice. Hey, I'm a child.
I did not sound like me. But anyways, anyway. So I might have had a few drinks. Calm down. And then as far as my scariest. Can't do it.
You're just like, hey guys, you guys want to hear my impression of Mrs. Voorhees? Hey Jason, how does murder happen? Oh gosh, this is good.
So
I can't wait till we do one of these live.
No, I'm moving on. I'm not letting you reel me back in. So my scariest one, I have no other reason of he was the only character that I ever had nightmares of. Like I've had dreams of like other slashers that are chasing me, but in my head, in my dream, I always beat them. He is the only one that I wake up before I find out if he kills me, or I win and I'm pretty sure he was going to kill me. That's why I wake up, and that's Pinhead.
Oh, right on.
And then as far as my all-time favorite, because just everything about him I just love, is Freddy Cougar.
Right on. It's a good one.
Yeah, he gets you in your dreams. The one place you think you're safe, like you don't die in your dreams, but he comes for you in your dreams. And I love my sleep. So he would come at me in my happy place. And I don't like that. So he is my favorite.
Right on.
What about you? No.
Well, I only had one. Like my original thought was I thought Ghostface from Scream, because I just like, you know, I grew up in the 90s, but
those aren't really horror films because they were funny. I think you stabbed me a little deep. I'm a little woozy.
No, nobody thought those were funny. Nobody was like, hey, you want to go see that new Jim Carrey movie, Scream? Nobody thought that. Nobody was like that. Stop it. You stop it. They were funny. What part was funny? When that bitch got stuck in the doggy door?
That was funny when was it Rose McGowan?
Yeah, it was Rose McGowan.
That was funny that she like went through the doggy door and thought that was the quickest way. And then when the Billy stabs his co-killer and he's all like, I think you stabbed me a little too deep.
That part was funny. Like I'm losing a lot of blood. I'm feeling a woozy here. That was funny. But just because you got a couple one-liners, I mean, like, okay, like, all right, cool, whatever. Yeah, but I ultimately went with Chucky. And the reason I went with Chucky is because I just remember one of our cousins having a little doll, and it looked nothing like Chucky, but they would just chase us around with it. Like they would put it on the ground and then run with it. And I'm all like, oh my God, I'm going to die.
Sasha or Sarah. That's all I can think.
And I just remember, I love the scene where the mom picks up the doll and she's all like, speak, or what are you doing?
I'm doing
it. You stop that. You stop that. Anyways, so that's me hitting you in the head. Just stop that. You stop that now. But when she picks him up and she's like, speak or I'll throw you in the fire. He's like, yeah, stupid bitch, and everything. And she's like, and then she drops him and he like tucks and rolls underneath the couch and everything. And I'm all like, I just remember thinking like, what if my toys are ready to murder me right now? I would just like.
You had a Toy Story moment before Toy Story was a thing.
Yeah, before Toy Story came out, but I'm all like,
In your version, they're all trying to kill you, not want to play with you, make your life joyful.
Yeah, I just remember that, and I was just like, okay, well, Chucky is my favorite, just because like you wouldn't suspect a toy.
Do you remember how scared of Freddy Cougar you were as a kid? No, I do. You wouldn't watch them.
Well, he's still scary now. What are you talking about? Nightmare on Elm Street 4, when the dream catchers or whatever the fuck that one's called, where one dude's all a puppet and he uses his veins as like the marionette puppet and he's all like walking him along. That shit's gross and scary. What are you talking about?
Good movies.
They're good movies, but it's still scary. Like when he's all like chasing them through the high school and they're like sinking and everything. And
no, they're I don't want to say they're scary.
What are you talking about?
They're probably scary.
Or when the girl's like all up on the ceiling being dragged across the ceiling, I'm all like, this shit's scary.
And her boyfriend's laying there going crazy.
Yeah, and he's all like, what's going on? Yeah.
Or Johnny Depp, where he's laying in his bed and he gets sucked into it and his mom opens the door
belly
and
shirt on.
Pull into the ceiling.
Yeah.
See, those are classic horror moments.
Definitely good. Way better than this shithole that we just watched.
That is true. I did kind of like these, but now that we're talking about old horror films, I'm like, man, these ones really failed. That's why I say it shouldn't be horror. This movie should not be classified as horror films.
It should be classified as horror films. Those stupid.
There aren't even any horrors in it.
Those stupid. Yeah, there weren't enough horrors in this movie. All right. So is there anything else you want to say about Fear Street Part 1, 1994 and Fear Street 1976? 78, whatever.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say about these two films?
Again, I don't think people should go into these thinking they're going to be horror films. I think they should just go looking into them as they're going to be serial killer films. Like there's murder, but they barely classify as serial killers either, because the Camp Sleepaway one did, but only because
it wasn't supernatural.
Right. He just killed people.
Yeah.
I don't think they should be horror films.
Yeah, and I think that people should go into this like not going into it, because I don't think you should watch these movies. I think you should just pass.
I think you should watch them if you were an R.L.Stine fan, for sure. Because like I said, I read them, and these books are based, I think, on three books. They don't follow the actual
Well, it doesn't matter.
Fear storyline from the books. Unless they try to wrap it up with this last 1666 one. But as of right now, it doesn't follow. But I'm hoping maybe they'll wrap it up and swing it back around with some weird way to make it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would not recommend watching these. I'm just going to go back to that. I would just
watch them one time.
Don't watch them one time. Don't waste your time. Watch something good.
Okay, so he says don't waste 3 hours of your life on it. There are parts that I will say you
3 hours. This is going to be like 6 hours or something, because the last one, you got to watch the last one. If you start the first one, you got to watch the last two.
But we're only to 3 hours. What, the last one's going to be 3 hours long to get? How are you getting to 6 hours, my dude?
These are almost 2-hour movies.
No.
This second one, it doesn't even matter. Anyways, do you have anything else you want to say? No? Great. All right, let me just do the outro then. So you guys, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. We are at a BS Drunk Pod to stay updated on all our stuff and what movies we're going to do next. We'll also be posting the video version of this on our YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. We are at BS Drunk Movie Reviews there. Ugh, I am feeling good. And don't forget, you guys, to drink, recap, review, and repeat. You guys have a good night. Bye.